Donald Trump, the 45th President of the United States of America, has officially been impeached, and we have everything you need to know. I wish I had worn something a little nicer to deliver this news, but here we go. Welcome to InformOverload, the show where we take the top trending topics on the internet and then make them more entertaining. I'm your host, Johnny Rogers, and to never miss another exciting video, click that subscribe button and ring the bell to join our notification squad. Before we get started though, leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on this impeachment, and while you do that, let's jump right into the top 10 fast facts about Donald Trump's impeachment you need to know. In at number 10, the definition of impeachment. When it comes to impeachment, sometimes things can be difficult to understand, especially considering that there's a lot of legal jargon kind of just tossed around, but I'll do my best to explain. According to the US Senate, if a federal official commits a crime or otherwise acts improperly, the House of Representatives may impeach and formally charge the official in question. If the official is convicted in a Senate impeachment trial, they will be removed from office. Essentially, the crimes they will be looking to prove involve things like treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. It also doesn't have to just occur at a federal level, it can also be a state level official as well. In at number 9, why impeachment? Under those guidelines for impeachment that I mentioned before, the United States is moving for impeachment because they believe the sitting president has committed a crime. As such, the Democrats have made a move towards impeachment because they fear that if the president remains in his position, he will only use it to abuse his power further. It's a way for the people to hold their leaders accountable, and it's what makes the country a democracy. In at number 8, making history. Donald Trump will also be going down in history as the third US president to be impeached by Congress. Before him was Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton, although so far no US president has been removed from office by impeachment. The only other president to face formal impeachment inquiries in the House of Representatives was Richard Nixon. Additionally, and as I mentioned before, the impeachment has worked in the past, just not with the president. Congress has impeached and removed 8 federal officials, all of which were judges. The only one that ever came close to being removed was Andrew Johnson, who narrowly escaped by one guilty verdict. Only when 2/3 of the Senate find the official guilty of the crimes presented in the articles of impeachment will they be removed from office. In at number 7, what are the charges? President Trump has been accused of pressuring the Ukraine government to find information on one of his main Democratic challengers for the 2020 presidency. On a phone call with President Volodymyr Zelensky, he allegedly pressured the foreign leader by withholding $400 million of military aid to the Ukraine unless he looked into Joe Biden. For a while, you heard it being called a quid pro quo, which essentially means this for that. The first article of impeachment includes abuse of power for pressuring the newly elected Ukraine president, and the second article of impeachment will charge him with obstruction of Congress for blocking testimony and refusing to provide documents in response to the House subpoenas in the impeachment inquiry. In at number 6, what started this? This actually isn't a recent thing for Trump to be dealing with. The Democrats have been looking for impeachable offenses ever since he took office. In July of 2017, they tried to impeach Trump for obstruction of justice in relation to the Russian election meddling probe. Then on September 24th of 2019, the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, announced another formal impeachment inquiry into Trump. In at number 5, the whistleblower. This decision by Pelosi came after a leaked whistleblower complaint detailed the phone call that I mentioned earlier between Trump and Zelensky. Following the whistleblower complaint who had overheard the phone call, the White House released a transcript for that call, for which the Democrats argued that the transcript clearly demonstrates Trump violating the Constitution. In at number 4, failed impeachments. Although presidential impeachments are a rare thing to see in the history of the US, it isn't rare for members of Congress to introduce resolutions with the hopes of giving the president the boot. In fact, every single president since Ronald Reagan have been threatened with impeachment at some point. All of these failed to make it as far as Trump though. Even Barack Obama was impeached by Republican Walter Jones. When Obama wanted to go to war in Syria because he believed the regime used chemical weapons in 2013, the Republicans prepared a resolution for impeachment. The impeachment for Obama came because he wanted to go to war without the consent from Congress. In at number 3, the other side. Now, I would be remiss if I did not state what the arguments against Trump's impeachment are. We live in a democracy, which means that everyone should be innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Mr. Trump insists that he never implied that he would use US military aid as a bargaining chip with Mr. Zelensky for him looking into Biden. He has since called the phone call a perfect phone call. It was perfect. Perfect phone call. And he has gone on to also condemn the Democrats as well as the mainstream media, calling the entire thing a witch hunt. He also claims that it was appropriate for him to ask the Ukraine to investigate corruption within their own country, which is in reference to Joe's son Hunter Biden, who is working for an energy firm in the Ukraine. In short, his defense will be that the Ukraine president felt no pressure, the Ukrainians were unaware that the aid was even being held, and that the US military aid was eventually released without information being exchanged. In at number 2, next steps. With the first stage of impeachment done now and 2 articles of impeachment being passed in the House of Representatives and passed in a vote along party lines, we will now proceed to the Senate where a trial will be held. After the trial, senators will vote on whether to convict the president, and if less than 2/3 of the Senate vote to convict Trump, he'll still remain in office. But if 2/3 or 67% vote to convict, then he will be removed from office. Last but not least, in our number 1 spot, the aftermath. If Donald J. Trump is indeed removed from office, the next in line would be his vice president. The line of succession for the US government, as established by the Presidential Succession Act of 1947, means that Vice President Mike Pence will take over the Oval Office, at least until the next vote for US President on Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. So, go out and vote. Now with that, let's check out some of your comments from the video titled Top 10 YouTubers That Are Mean in Real Life. Rose Shin says, okay, I misread the title as Men in Real Life and I was ready for some fun entertainment until Johnny said the title and I found out I was in for some scalding tea instead. Oh my god, that would have been such a different video to do. Top 10 YouTubers that are men in real life. Too controversial, I'm sorry, we're not doing it. Natasha Malt says, wait. You're all Canadian? My father must never know. Whoa, what did Canadians ever do to your dad? Also, I'm sorry if we ever did anything to your dad, eh? Breezer says, Johnny is growing on me, folks. Oh no, you should probably get that checked out. Lilith Gold says, but also I don't care, is the mood for 2020. Thanks, Johnny. 2020 mood is here and it doesn't even care to be. I love that people are quoting me in the comment section too. Continue to do that, it's very fun for me. Mark Alex Watt says, Johnny looks and acts just like my cousin, just wanted to let you all know that. Hey, sounds like a cool dude. And that has been the top 10 fast facts about Donald Trump's impeachment that you need to know. Thank you for watching InformOverload, and if you enjoyed this video, then show us some love here by tapping that like and subscribe button. Also, make sure you give us a follow on Instagram for tons of behind the scenes content. Links for that will be in the description below. Plus, while you're there, why don't you leave us a comment with your thoughts on this list. From IO, my name is Johnny Rogers, and until next time, you take care.